Today we're going to reduce some stress and release trauma from our bodies. And we'll do a couple of movements. I'll bring some people up on stage so we can work through some stuff together. But we'll start off with a movement that everybody can do while everybody gets into the chat. And also let me know where you're from and what you're experiencing in your body. Maybe I can do a movement to help you. But we'll start off with just a quick one that helps with neck pain, jaw pain, head tension, headaches, and it will benefit anybody, honestly. So let's give it a try. You're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna grab the top of your right ear. Right hand, grab the bottom of the ear, pull the bottom forwards and the top backwards. So really twist it. It might hurt. If you've never done this before and it's your first time, open your mouth a few times. This one will also calm your mind. If you have a lot of head tension, jaw tension, or a headache, your mind is racing. So twist it and relax, shake off your hands, move your neck around. And we'll do the other side. So right hand over, grab the top of your left ear, left hand grab the bottom. Grab the ear and you're gonna really twist it. It might hurt, so pull the bottom forwards, top backwards. Stretch it, open your mouth a few times, and you can move around. We're actually gonna do a full class on Saturday on Zoom. If you like to do classes online and you wanna do a full hour with us, we go through all the maneuvers and some modifications. You can sign up on our website in the event section. And have some fun with us. So if you have anything going on in your body, feel free to request to go live. Super ready. Hi, Irene. Nice to see you. How do you guys' neck feel and jaw feel after pulling your ear? If you want to go live with me, just request to go live. We can do some maneuvers together. We can work through some stuff. There's something I want to talk about actually that I experienced on Tuesday. It was a learning experience for me because there's been a few people that I haven't been able to help. And I run into a situation where I'm trying to help somebody and they're not receiving the help. And through the conversation, when they're not receiving the help, I feel all this resistance and it starts to make me feel frustrated because I feel misunderstood. I feel like I can't help. I feel like I'm not able to solve or fix or bring a contribution to help this person. And it happens a lot of the time when somebody's either not ready to receive the help or they're not asking for help. And I ran into a situation where I'm working with somebody, they came up on here and I'm trying to help them. And I realized that I wasn't able to, and there was all this resistance coming up and I was starting to get frustrated. And I generally just kind of shelf it. I walk away from that conversation and I just feel frustrated, like I wasn't able to help. And it's not a good feeling because I'm here and I just want to help. I want to do the best that I can. So there's three things that I want to talk about that I've learned over the past 4 years in these situations. Number one is I always ask what the person is looking for when they're coming up and talking to me. Do you want my advice? Do you want help? Do you want me to hold space? Do you want me to listen? Do you want to just have a conversation? Once I set that parameter, I understand what they want from me, and that dictates how I interact with them afterwards. So if they say I want help, okay, they've given me permission. Once they give me permission, then I can help. If they don't give me permission, then I'm going to run into resistance somewhere. Number two is if I'm giving somebody advice on what they can do to help themselves, and I give them a narrative or a story or an explanation that doesn't resonate with them, and they don't agree with it, now I trigger their ego. And their ego now defends and says, that's not true. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that. That's not you don't know everything. And now they're in a defensive posture. And so when I'm trying to help them, there's not an open flow of communication. Now, third one is when I'm in that situation and either I didn't get permission or I'm unable to help them and I'm feeling that resistance, is to actually bring it up and say, you know, I feel frustrated right now because I want to help, but it doesn't feel like I'm able to here. It doesn't feel like what I'm saying is being received. And that allows me to let the person know where I'm at. Because if I just feel frustrated and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to throw this under the table, I'm going to walk away from this, and you can walk away from it. We're both going to have a weird feeling after that, and it's not going to feel good. Doesn't really work. So what I suggest is first get permission or find out what the relationship is. What are we doing here? Am I helping you? Am I listening? Am I holding space? Are we just having a discussion? Okay, great. I'm going to ask a lot of questions to allow you to come to your own solution. I'm not going to give you a solution. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is. I'm going to ask you strategic questions to allow you the space to think about the topic so that you can come to your own solution. If you come to your own solution, it will always resonate with you. If I'm the one telling you the solution, then there may be resistance. And then when I'm in a situation and I'm trying to help somebody and it's not being received, just letting them know how I feel and that I don't feel like it's being received so that we can talk about it and I can actually find out the truth of the situation. Was it that they actually weren't looking for my help? Was it that they don't agree with what I'm saying? Was it that they, you know, maybe I said something that they didn't like? And that also allows us to work out some uncomfortable emotions so that we can maintain our relationship. Because if I walk away from that relationship or that interaction not feeling good, then they're also going to walk away not feeling good. So I really like the strategy of holding space and asking questions because it allows people with free choice to choose the story and the narrative that they want to leave with. And that is a really powerful one. Even if I know what my answer is or my truth is or what the solution is for them, if I guide them with questions without any expectations of where it's going to go, maybe they'll come to the same conclusion as me. So I just want to share that's a big one, and it comes up quite a bit. So just be mindful if you're in a situation where you're giving somebody advice and they're not ready to receive it. That's the reality. And yeah, sometimes I see a couple people making comments that were there. Sometimes they're just in a lot of fear.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well.
So for the audience,
For
what's your name, birthday, and where are you from?
my name is Brittany Baruxson. I am from Missouri in the United States. October 6th is my birthday. And I'm keeping the room dark today. I've got a bad headache. Yeah.
Okay. So what brings you up today? Like, why did you request to go live?
I'm going to cry. It's fine. Honestly, I saw the name of the live today, the Release Trauma and Reduce Stress. My 7-year-old little boy has some serious anger issues. And we are trying our absolute best trying to help him, but we've reached the point where it's almost like the more we try to help, the worse that it's getting. So much so that my baby has started telling us that he wants to die and he doesn't want to be here anymore. And so, yeah, it's triggering a lot of anger and all that frustrate. Like everything that you just said is exactly what we are going through. And it's really hard. And I've been trying to picture Gary in front of me and what I would say, but he's 7. And I've been trying to listen to my body and all of the maneuvers and everything that it wants, but I just keep feeling called to rest. So I've barely left my bed like all month, which is not parenting. But what do you do?
What would you like from me today?
I wrote in my journal yesterday. I had to write like 3 things that are like really heavy on me. And one of them is my boy. And one of them is my biological dad. And then the third one was I keep all my stress is here in my jaw. And so I just want to speak and to be heard. And I want that for my boy. And I know that that's the issue here. He keeps saying that he feels invisible and nobody hears him or sees him. And I can feel that, but I don't know how to fix that. And so I don't know. I just saw the name on it. And then hearing you talk this morning, just felt like this is where I was supposed to be as much as I want to be asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've never gone live with you before. I've gone live with Gary a million times. Hi, Jason. It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, I've seen you go live a few times. It's nice to meet you officially. I really like what you do and the work that you're putting into the community. It's really cool.
I'm really trying, but, I have to admit, I am dealing a lot with that imposter syndrome right now. Because my career and everything is going so well, but my house is like falling apart, and I have taken this movement and I have done so many wonderful things with it. It's helped my career so much, but the more that I feel like it's helped me and all of my trauma and all of the emotions and how I handle it, I feel like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't want to say that I'm losing control over my son, but also I don't, he's 7. Like, what does he have to be so angry about?
But do you feel like it's him?
No.
Okay. Where do you feel like it's coming from?
His dad. His dad has a lot of anger issues that we've been trying to work through. And so I know a lot of that is like learned behaviors. But Dad only believes in working on the emotions and so much of what I do. He's all about the body work, but as far as like diving in and him doing the work and healing himself, Dad just pushes it deep and buries it deep. And I'm not coming here to say that I don't have my own anger issues. I know that, he's seen some of my own also, but I also try to be that Libra and bring that balance. And, we can feel this anger, but we can also talk about it. And why are we feeling this? And what's going on? And how can we let go of this? And somebody asked, no, we are not separated. We are still married. I still love him, as angry as he gets sometimes.
So how does it make you feel when he gets angry?
My husband, my son, or both?
Your husband.
Honestly, it makes me feel like I'm back in my own childhood home, and I just want to shell up and just run away, which is exactly what my boy does.
And do you feel heard or seen or understood when that happens?
Of course not, no.
Yeah.
No. So, our boy, we're starting counseling next week. So he has a different outlet, maybe, talking to somebody that's not at school or mom and dad, maybe that will help a lot. And that's very upsetting to Dad, because he just believes, I don't know. He wants us to fix it, but he wants us to do it in the way of staying, like, if we just stay consistent in how we're parenting. And in my opinion, in parenting and staying consistent, we have to manage and regulate ourselves in order to have regulation in our children. If we can't model that, we can't have that. But he does not agree. So that's where we're at.
So when was the last time you did something to take care of you?
I mean, I try to do my maneuvers every day, but I honestly, I can't tell you the last time I took care of me.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting week because we have a Parents Helping Children program.
I know.
And they're actually here.
I know, I saw that.
It's super interesting because Maxine, she's 7, and she wanted to go out for Halloween. And, you know, the first thing that went through my head is like, is there a way that we can trade the candy for something that's, even if it's candy that's organic or doesn't have all the chemicals, or can we do something in exchange, right?
Oh, so, yeah.
It's really interesting. But the other thing that's come up for me this week is like boundaries. Like, kids really hate but really like boundaries.
Yeah.
So like what your husband's saying there is interesting. Like, if we're consistent in our boundaries, then that will help. And absolutely, I agree with that. Like, I've been tested on setting boundaries like all week since Scorpio started. And that's really important, because when I don't set a boundary and then people cross the boundary, then I get angry. And then I have to use my voice in order to express how it made me feel when they cross my boundary, so they understand my boundary. If they don't understand my boundary, they're going to keep crossing it. I'm going to keep getting frustrated. And then if I'm not expressing it, I'm holding it in my body, and then my jaw and my neck tighten. So,
and and all week I've just been doing this and just, you know, just holding my throat, holding my tongue, and not saying what I need to say. And all of my serious joy texts this week they've all been about like boundaries and making my voice heard and all of the things. And I just, it's a lot when your 7-year-old is speaking such heavy words, and it's a lot when your spouse isn't entirely on the same page with you with how to handle it. And it was a lot. And just the name and all of this felt like I needed to be right here.
Yeah. So I'm going to give an example of something right now. If I'm overweight and I tell everybody in my family how to lose weight, do you think that they'll listen to me? No. If I then tell them, hey, you should eat organic if you want to be healthy, but I don't look healthy, you think they're going to listen to me? If I'm holding on to my emotions, I'm not taking care of myself, and I'm telling others to do it, do you think they're going to listen to me?
No.
So here we are, and I've been in this situation many times in my life where I'm telling people to do stuff, and I'm not doing it in that present moment. I might have been doing it last month or a year ago or whatever, but a lot of the time it's like, okay, I can't control my partner. I can't control my child. I can set boundaries. I can vocalize how I feel. I can share with them. I can communicate with them my beliefs and my thoughts and all that. But what they will listen to the most is when I do it, they see the end result of it. So if it's funny, I had this lady say to me, you know, my kid doesn't want to eat organic, you know, doesn't want to eat like this. And I said, well, do you? And she said, yes. And I try and make her and my husband, and they don't listen to me. And I said, okay, but you seem pretty stressed right now. Like, you seem pretty, you know, I must be nice. Like, I'm being more direct right now. I was a little bit softer there, but I said that to her, and I said, do you think your husband and your kid are looking at you and saying, this woman eats organic, and the end result is that she's angry and stressed? Yeah. So if she was saying it, but she inspired them because she looked younger, she moved younger, she felt good, she was really nice, she was really relaxed, really grounded, really calm, and then she says to eat organic, eventually they'll look at her and they'll be like, that's the end result of all of the behaviors that she does in a day. And they'll watch you. They'll watch. Oh, she wakes up, she does her maneuvers. She wakes up, she does her breath work. She eats organic. Oh, she doesn't use her chemicals in her detergent. And then they see the end result and they're like, wow, she's really inspiring. Like, she's always happy all the time. I want to be like her. And then they'll go, hey, what do you do? Like, how can I be more like you? That's really the truth of it. Because if I'm standing here and I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed and I'm not feeling good, and then I'm telling other people what to do, they're going to look at what I'm telling them and be like, but you're the end result, and the end result is stressed. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Yeah. And that's okay. And look, that's okay, because we go like this, right? And even if you're doing all the right things, you might be stressed in that moment. It might not be extremely inspiring, but this is a long game.
Mm-hmm.
If I get better, if I have less overall stress day to day over a 4-year period, and I look slightly better every day for a 4-year period, and I act slightly better every day for a 4-year period, I might have the slip ups, but they'll see the long-term changes, and then that inspires them to want to do the things that I do. So it's lead by example is kind of the end result of what I'm saying here.
And I fully agree. And I've kind of tried to like adopt that this week. And, with his anger, these are the things that we can control. We can control our emotions. We can control how we react to certain things, but we can't always control what's happening around us. So I've been trying to model that. Like, I cleaned the house the other day, and then the dog did something, and I was like, immediately, and then I looked at my boy and I said, you see, I can't control what the dog just did to make me mad, but I can control how I react. So I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to implement that, but it's just, stacking high, and I've not been verbalized everything that you've just said. Yes, nail on the head. It's fine.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, like, a lot of the things I was talking about right before you came up is exactly what I'm being presented with. Like, first off, I was asking what you wanted here from me. Second, I'm asking questions so that you can come to your own conclusions. And then third, I'm just talking about my own personal experiences, which I find is really valuable in helping people. But one of the things that I've learned now, because I was so passionate about helping others, I was telling everybody else what to do. Instead of doing that, I've switched into, if I just do it myself and my result is good, eventually people will be inspired by the end result, and then they will want to do what I do. Instead of using my energy to convince or change them or fix them or make them believe the way I do or act the way I do, I'm just going to do me. And if they enjoy the end result of me, then maybe they'll do something like me. And if they don't, I'm not attached to it. But I've learned that that's the most powerful way. And that's actually why we changed our language from our mission is to empower 1 billion people to heal themselves. We actually changed it to inspire.
I like that.
Because it means that if I'm inspiring, that means I need to be living it. I need to be like embodying every minute of it. And if I do that, then I'll inspire people. And that's the true way to lead. Leadership through control is not the way to do it. I've tried it, and it creates all this resistance and all this fighting, and I lose all my energy, and then you lose the leadership capability. And that's
where we are in parenting right now.
Yeah. And like, I'm not a parent from day one. I'm becoming a parent from age 6. And that's like very new to me. But what I'm doing is, I was thinking about, I'm trying different things. Like, when Maxine wakes up and she's getting ready, like, I make my bed every morning because it feels really good in my room. And it sets up the precedent for my day. So I walk in and I start making her bed, and I'm like, oh, don't you make your bed every morning when you wake up? It feels so nice. And you know what, do you want to make yours with me? So like I'm instead of telling her to do it, I'm doing it, and I'm talking about why it's so nice to do it. And then she might tie the feeling when she walks into her room and her bed's been made with the action that I was taking of making the bed for her. I'm doing it for her to show her what I do every morning. And then at some point I'm going to invite her to do it with me, and she can choose to or not, but she'll see the feeling at the end of it, the end result of it. And then she can decide, is that something that she wants to add into her day or not? I'm trying it. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's more, I'll do it. I'll talk about why I do it. I'll talk about how good it feels, and I'll ask them questions to see if they resonate with that. And if they want to do it, then they can try it. It's my experiment that I'm doing this week, and I want to see what the end result is.
Well, I'll be anxious to hear about that. I like that invitation approach a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally, we're actually, so Libra is the throat and Scorpio is the throat. Okay? So Libra is the peacemaker. What they do is they take in all the information, and then they want to keep the peace between everybody. So they don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ruin the flow. I don't want to get in confrontation. I don't want to create an issue here. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Mm-hmm. Then we get into Scorpio, and Scorpio is, it's the boundary. It's the line. And so I'm expressing my boundaries. I'm expressing the line. I'm expressing what I want and what I don't want, mm-hmm. so that people can understand how to interact with me. And so it's funny because we're shifting, and here you are in Libra and Scorpio season. You're feeling really tight and jacked up here because you're being presented with an opportunity to enhance the way that you communicate your feelings and your boundaries with your family.
And that is so fitting because I am a Libra, and mm-hmm. very much so feeling this. And my husband is very much so a Scorpio. Oh. Yes, yeah. So we are feeling all of that right now. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that last person, holding anger from other people. I full-heartedly believe that. I believe that. So thank you so much, Jason.
Well, I just want to say, imagine for one moment if you were in like a tiny little kid body, what would be your actions to release what it is that you're feeling? And I go through that game in my head sometimes. I'm like, if I was a kid right now, I'd be stomping my feet and like punching a pillow. And then I look at the kid, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel right now. They're just showing me in real time.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I tell them. I'm like, we're just a little guy with really, really big emotions. We're gonna figure out how to handle them. But and I just we're not hurting ourselves right now, and we're not hurting other people, which is huge. But also, how can we just take this anger and use it, feel it, and allow it, and then just move past it and be done with it? Yeah. And so yeah, everything that you just said is what I've been thinking, but good. I've not been.
And look, I have had enough pain of not expressing my boundaries or what I feel with people that every time I don't do it now, I walk away and I'm like, oh, that's gonna hurt later.
Uh-huh. I'm like an instant migraine anymore.
Yeah. So here's what happened for me is I would have a situation with somebody that came up and it didn't feel good. And it would build the anger or the sadness or the fear or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it would come up, all that energy would come up and it would get stuck. And then I'm like, nope. And then I'd walk away from that, and that is now held in my body. And they felt it. They just didn't have a story of like, did I say something? Did I do something? What happened? Why is Jay it seems like something happened over there. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is now situation 2 comes. Same situation. They do it again. I already have my tank quarter full here. They do the same thing again because I didn't express to them how it made me feel last time. It builds up. Now my tank is half full. I walk away. Instance number 3. Boom. Now my tank is almost full. The next time it happens is a full-blown fight. And that full-blown fight has the potential to destroy my relationship with that person. Because the energy is at a level 10, but the circumstance to them was a level like 1. They're like, I just didn't put my dish away. Why are you yelling at me? Like, all I did was I just, like, I don't understand. And it creates this massive amount of energy that needs to be worked out between two people from an instance that doesn't make sense. So they're trying to make sense of, like, I did this small thing and you're at a level 10. Like, I don't understand. So they feel betrayed, and they also feel like defending because they have all this energy coming at them. And that energy has destroyed relationships for me. So, and it's happened on both ends, where people didn't say something to me or where I didn't say something to someone else because they're mirroring me and they're showing me what it feels like. And so now every time something happens and I have a feeling about it, I talk to that person so that we can get on the same page, and that energy actually comes out and it empties. And now I'm at neutral, and they now understand their behavior and how it impacted me. So the next time they'll be more mindful, or I maybe saw a situation wrong and they don't need to change anything at all. So now we have a stronger relationship and a stronger connection together because we worked through something, versus a full-blown fight over here that could potentially destroy our relationship. Now, here's where it gets even more complicating. And this is what happens in communities, teams, organizations, is I have that situation with you. I walk over here and I blow my emotions out with somebody else and vent. And that person knows you. Now they're in the middle of it. And they feel guilty if they don't tell you or talk to you about it. Or they feel the same emotions that I'm bringing to them because they agree or disagree or whatever. They feel guilty if they tell on the person. They feel guilty if they don't tell you. Now they're brought into the triangulation of this emotion. And let's say one day you and I work it out, but that person didn't get to work it out. They didn't get closure on it. So this is a really complex situation now. I've brought a third party into this who only has one side. They don't have your side. They only have my side. So now they're on my side, and now it's 2 against 1, and they're brought in, and it just creates this massive, like, complex situation that is even worse. So one of the things is, if I bring that person in, I'm only telling them one side, I'm dropping all the emotions, and I've created a triangulation. The other one is, if I try and work it out with you in front of a group of people who don't have context. So I call you out for a behavior that you did, or something that you did, and it's in front of all these people and nobody was there to see the behavior, and now they are building stories and emotions in their head in the situation as we're trying to work it out in front of them. So what I've learned is, when I have that feeling, I'm going to talk to you, and we're going to go over here and we're going to work it out together, and I'm going to express how that made me feel and give you that opportunity to work it out with me. Instead of doing it in a group, instead of doing it with somebody else, I'm doing it with you, and I'm saving the relationship. And that has been a fundamental thing that I've learned over the last, I would say, year primarily, of how to communicate my feelings in real time.
I almost don't know what to say.
Okay.
And I'm honestly in awe of you right now, because just of how you handle it and the approach that you have with Maxine. I admire that a lot. And my husband had a daughter when we got together, and so I also just jumped right into parenting, and she was several years old, and but just, I love your approach and just how you are right now.
Thank you.
And I'm very inspired by you right now. I really am. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Would you like to do something together to work it out of our bodies?
Oh my gosh, I would love to.
Okay. Let me just feel what feels right.
You're going to stare at my ceiling.
Okay. To be honest with you, it feels like fetal position. It feels
Yeah.
like lying down on your left side and crawling into a ball. So everybody can do this if you can. If not, you can kind of just roll up if you can't get on the floor. Crawl into a ball. And what I like to do is cross my ankles and cross my arms opposite. So it's like a counter-rotated position. And then just like tuck really tight. Tuck your chin. I'll do it standing. And we're going to breathe together. So breathe in through the mouth. And out. 2. 3. Repeat after me. I will express my truth even when it's inconvenient for other people.
I will express my truth even when it's inconvenient for other people.
I will express my boundaries with confidence and love.
I will express my boundaries with confidence and love.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I forgive you, Mom.
I forgive you, Mom.
I forgive you, Dad.
I forgive you, Dad.
I feel safe and protected.
I feel safe and protected.
I'm ready to move forward with my life.
I'm ready to move forward with my life.
Me for me and you for you.
Me for me and you for you.
Breathe in through the nose. Let it out. 2. 3. Take a moment, and when you're ready, you can stand up and walk around, but take your time.
The headache I've been battling for a month is gone. Thank you.
You did it.
You held the space for me to do it, so thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you coming up. It was perfect timing for the things I was talking about. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. And I hope that it is the best ever with all the parents this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting. I mean, like a lot of the time, because parents are juggling a lot, right? It's like family, the kids, the relationship, working, self-care, all these different friendships, and then you got to tell them, if you want to help your kid, you have to take care of you. That means like there's nothing you can do to your kid. Like you have to do the maneuver.
Yes. And
And that
I have been preaching that, and I say preaching to my husband, like, you have to recognize the anger in you also, sir. Like, this isn't just our boy. And so I needed this morning to also kind of like, hey, Mom, there's stuff in you too we can work on.
It's really funny because like I'll watch, if there's frustration in our house at all, the dogs start acting up a little bit too. And then like someone will drop something, and then someone will stub their toe. And I watch it. It's like become an observer of how the emotion tries to work itself out in the world around me. So it's kids are the same. And for those parents, one thing I want to say is, for parents on here that have children that they would like to help, one of the fundamental things is, if they put chemicals in their body, when you try to help them or ask them to do something, they're 12 to 20 times more likely to resist you. Like if they have candy, if they have glyphosate, if they have chemicals in their body, immediately they become more irritated, more frustrated, harder to talk to, harder to get to do things. And the only way to actually know that is to take them off of that for a long enough period of time that when they go back on it, you see the difference. I'll give an example. We went and lived on the beach for a month, and there was a complete shift in behavior for a 7-year-old girl, like night and day. And then has one instance of chemicals put back in the body, and all of a sudden irritated, more resistant, harder to help. And it was like, oh my, like it's like a different human being. So the two primary ones is take care of yourself as a parent, and then make sure that the environment and what goes in that child's body is good.
Yeah.
And if you can do those two things, 85 to 90% of it will work out. And that's a message just for all the parents on here, because it's a big one.
Yeah. And my husband was super like skeptical on that when I started reading about how foods can affect their little tiny bodies. And so I experimented at first. Let's just cut out all the red food dye and let's see. And then Dad came home one day with a red Gatorade, and I just threw my hands up. Okay, if you want to give him that red Gatorade, then you get to do bedtime tonight. Fine. There's nothing. Gatorade. Like, okay. And yeah, no more red food dye in our house anymore. So yeah, it was cold on Halloween for us this year, so it was kind of nice. We did one street, and then we were done. So I'm thankful for that, because we don't have a lot of candy, and a lot of it is what they won't eat anyway. So
good.
Sorry about your loss.
Yeah. But like, I was legitimately thinking about it. I'm like, okay, is there an agreement we can make before they go out that becomes a ritual? Every year we know, hey, whatever candy you get, I will give you X in exchange. So no eating that. And at the end of the day, the parent setting the boundary is like that 20-minute anger spout of them not getting that candy is totally worth them listening the next 3 days. Yes. And working with you for the next 3 days. But yes. If they take that one candy for the next 24 hours at least, or 72 hours, you're going to be pushing against them. And it's going to be a nightmare to work with. And I've seen it in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah. Can your supplements, can the kids take them?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've always wondered that, but I've just never thought to ask.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah. They
we'll look into
usually take about half the dose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like break one open for them and.
Oh, well, the dose is normally 2 to 4, so they could take one. And if they're really struggling to, depending on which one it is, but yeah, one capsule works.
Okay. Perfect. Well,
And for those that really struggle with capsules, like you can get it in powder or gel form, depending on which product you're looking at. Like there's other ways to get it. The reason why we went to capsules was more for us. Like I don't like having to constantly drink powder, or make a smoothie just to take what I need for my body. So I like to put it in a capsule, but for others, you can also get it in powder.
Yeah. And we do diatomaceous sea moss, but
Perfect.
yeah. So, okay. Well, I will let you continue. Thank you so much. I feel so much better. I can't even. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing today. It was perfect.
Yes.
Perfect timing on the conversations I was bringing up, and also having the parents helping kids program starting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
all
it.
my love. Thank you so much, Jason.
Take care. Bye. Oh, that was fun. And the coincidence. So interesting. Like I bring people up over the last few days who are mirroring me or something that I'm learning, so that I can communicate it and share. Lots of fun. And for those of you who have kids and you want to help them, we have a Parents Helping Children program starting. It's currently in beta, and it's similar to our 28-day life reset, where it guides the parents and the children through a program so that they can start helping themselves. Right now, kids are really struggling. They're about the 3rd generation with chemicals in their system. They don't know how to express their emotions. The programming is deep. The schools today are very different than when you went to school as a parent, in what they're teaching our kids. And it's time to start bringing awareness around these topics. It's time to start taking down the school system and bringing in a new way of teaching our kids. We've lost the wisdom from our grandparents and having it passed down to the children, because now kids are in school most of the day. So it used to be where the kids hung out with the grandparents, the wisdom was passed down into the family line, and then it would go on for generations. Now the grandparents are so sick because of all the chemicals and all the issues that we have in programming in society and in their bodies, that they don't even have the energy anymore to share that wisdom. We've also taken the kids and we've put them into school for hours and hours and hours a day, so that they have less time with their grandparents and with their parents. Parents are at work all day and they get home late at night and they're tired, so the kids aren't learning from the parents anymore. And these kids are going to school and they're learning from a system that has a completely different vision of what they want your child to know at the end of their school years. So it's time to bring kids back into the wisdom of our culture and family traditions, and all of the stuff that as a parent, all the stuff you've learned in your life, so that you can share it with them. Homeschooling is going up. Online education is getting better. It started with Khan Academy, Khan Academy is a foundation that created online education for kids, all the way from grade 1 to university level programs. And he receives donations to build this organization. And it's going in alignment with where we need to go right now, where kids can go online and they can literally watch a video and learn exactly what they want in that moment, rather than being forced to sit and learn something that they're not interested in. Learning is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be forced. It's not supposed to be put in a container. It's not supposed to be memorized and regurgitated. We're supposed to experience and learn as we go and have fun with it, and learn from social situations, learn from the community, learn from friends, learn from grandparents, learn from mentors. We've lost all of that. If you heard what they were teaching your kids in school today, you would throw up legitimately. It is scary what the programming is, that it's coming through the school systems. And it's time to change that. So part of our contribution to that is bringing in this program for parents to help their kids. And for the parents, it starts with you. It starts with you taking care of yourself, because the kids are just a mirror of you. They're just reflecting what you're not showing outwardly. If you're angry and you're holding that, your kid's going to express that anger in real time in front of you, so you can see yourself, because they are mini me of you. So the world is changing, and it's changing fast. By next year, people are going to be so sick and tired of the system that they're going to find a new way, which means we're going to innovate new ways for children to come up into society. There's going to be new programs. There's going to be new school systems. There's going to be new ways of learning. It's really exciting. And we don't need to be angry at the current system. We can take that anger and we can use it into creative energy to find new ways to help kids and to create programs. One of the schools that does a really good job is the Waldorf. They teach kids about the energy systems, about the emotions, about the chakras, about their bodies. They get to play outside. There's other school systems where the kids are outside, and it actually, the teachers have a smaller class, and they can actually focus on what that child needs moment to moment. And they actually get to know your child on a deeper level and help the child learn in the way that they like to learn. Not every kid is built the same. They don't all like learning the same, and they don't learn the same. So we need to account for that when we're helping them. So with that, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for sharing. There's going to be lots of exciting stuff coming up. Stay tuned for our Parents Helping Kids program. I believe Gary's actually going to be going live tomorrow with Jenna and Lauren, who've been helping build that program, to talk about the program and what that looks like. So if you want to tune into that live, I believe it is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Cancun time. So you can tune in and you can watch and learn a little bit more about the program and how to sign up. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time today, and we'll see you next time.